back in 2024, a company called Valve created a little game called Deadlock. Deadlock is created by Yoshi, that's right, the Yoshi from Super Mario, and yada yada, it's a smash hit, everyone loves it. Deadlock is the best game ever made. However, there's a problem. You see, when Yoshi created Deadlock, he made a critical programming error. Whenever your health bar reaches 0, you die. However, despite the fact that he created the problem, Yoshi also decided to add the solution, which is called Vitality. Now you might be asking yourself, what does that have to do with anything? I just want to see my wife and kids again. You see, if Deadlock is a smash hit video game, then you need to get good at it, or else your friends are going to make fun of you on Discord. So what better way to improve at the game of Deadlock than to just stop dying? That's right. Your key to fame and fortune and success in this burgeoning game known as Deadlock is to just stop dying. Okay, so like step 1, you need to actually play a good hero. Quit playing your Haze, quit playing your Vindicta, quit with all these nonsense little squishy bullshit heroes. They're not doing you any favors. That's right, you gotta pick none other than Jonathan Dynamo, CEO of Dynamo Incorporated. All you have to do is pick this one ball boy, and you are on your way to achieving fame and fortune in the hit video game Deadlock by Valve Software. But how are you gonna do that? How can you live forever in a video game where you have 6 other chucklefucks shooting you with guns, hitting you with abilities, and nuking you with various assortments of bombs, guns, magic spells, fire, dudes with pompadours? Like, there's too much bullshit to keep track of in this game. I mean, look at this. This is a regular mid-boss fight. How are you expected to survive in this kind of hostile environment? What are you, some kind of Alabama crab? No, fuck no. You're much better than a crab. You're at least 3 crabs worth of person. I know what you're thinking. Wait a minute. This is supposed to be a guide on how to play Deadlock like a professional, and your first piece of advice was pick Dynamo? Dynamo is like the worst hero ever. Nobody's picking him in Night Shift. Why would I play stupid big fat bellied Dynamo? The reason that you're gonna pick Dynamo is because Dynamo has one of the best inherent kits in the game. Now, a lot of people look at Dynamo's kit and they look at the black hole and they think, wait, what? Whoa, isn't this just a hero where you push 4 and then just make a big hole appear out of nowhere? And the answer is yes, it is. But there's a lot more to it than that. See, the magic of this build is in the other 3 abilities. The reason that you have been dying, the reason that you have been losing your games on Dynamo is because you are playing him wrong. Probably. You have been bloating your item builds, your left to right, top to bottom build philosophy where you just load up a popular build. No, that's not how you do it. Bad. Water. Your builds are way too bloated with too many orange and purple items. These don't do anything for you. Now, spirit-wise, Dynamo is in the pooper. That's right, flush him down the toilet, get him out of here. What about the gun? Playing gun Dynamo was actually the meta way to play this fucking dude. But not anymore. The gun kind of sucks now. It kind of died the same day Gun Kelvin also went down the drain. Which leaves us with one more edge of efficiency. Vitality. You see, the objective of Deadlock is to not die. And maybe there's a secondary objective in there about, like, the Ancients or the Patreons or whatever they're called. I don't even know. Who cares about that anyway? No, the objective of Deadlock is twofold. 1, don't die. And 2, inflict psychological damage on the enemy team. And ironically, you can actually do step 1 by also fulfilling step 2. What's the enemy team gonna think about some unkillable ball boy jumping in their game and making the timer go to fucking 60 minutes? How are you supposed to function in your day-to-day life knowing that some big weld ripoff is gonna hop in your game and delay shit and steal all your sinner sacrifices? This dude is literally Fat Rem combined with like what Abrams seems like. And the key to achieving this level of nirvana with Dynamo is to buy green. And the fucking egg. Okay, Okay, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. You need the egg. Let me tell you, this is not a Deltarune reference. You must purchase the egg, and you must hold on to it for at least 35 minutes. No, I'm not joking. Your first step is buy green. Buy green, buy green. However, very specifically, you need to make sure that you are buying items to counter the enemy lineup. See, here's the thing that actually makes this build viable. The build works because you actually are required to counter-buy what the enemy team is doing, which in most lower ranks, and by lower ranks I mean anything lower than Ascendant, it will generally work out in your favor because most people don't pay attention to their builds. There is no build code for this. You just select the green category and you buy items based on what the enemy team is putting out there. Does the enemy team have a lot of gun heroes? Well then, buy plated armor first. That's right, buy it first, and already people will have trouble killing you. Do they have lots of explosive nukers? Well, consider getting Spellbreaker and Spirit Resistance. These will keep you alive so you can survive all the bursts and then just keep persisting. The big thing though is to buy heals. I recommend extra regen into Heal Booster and Healing Right into Rescue Beam. Now, don't be confused. Your team is going to think that you're playing a really incredible support, but that Rescue Beam is not for your team. No, those greedy bastards have taken enough. Okay, they're stealing all your farm, they're feeding the enemy team. No, that Rescue Beam is for you and you only. Because in case you didn't know, you can Rescue Beam yourself and just eat all of the heals plus the passive heal. This thing is an insanely great heal. And if you mix that with Healing Booster, you can literally just like nearly top yourself off after just any engagement. It's actually absurd. But outside of that, just focus on getting resistances. Get bullet resistance, get spirit resistance, get Spellbreaker, get plated armor, get metal skin, get everything. But prioritize what the enemy team is dealing out to you. You have to be more like this guy. Study your enemies like a book. Buy counters. And over time, throughout the course of the game, you're going to be building up all these counter items. You're going to be resistant to bullets and spirit, explosions. All of that shit that normally is going to kill you is now just going to make you stronger. And that's because of one key item. One item that you should always consider. Honestly, get this item first if you can. Just make sure that you get it, because out of every item in this whole green category, there is one item in here that I think is required to make this build come to life. And it's one that often gets overlooked by most people in most builds. Witchmail. Listen, I'm not going to bore you with details. Witchmail makes it so that when you take a lot of spirit damage at once, essentially, you get a random cooldown reduced. What that means is that while you're running around the map, essentially getting yourself into fights on purpose, people attacking you, like the mere act of being attacked, will in turn cause your cooldowns to go down. Now, for a lot of people, you might think, oh, that means I can get black holes sooner. No, and this is why, on this build, you try not to use black hole. Black hole is your enemy, because black hole makes witchmail worse. No, the goal of witchmail is not to make your black hole cooldown go down. The goal of witchmail is to get quantum entanglement and rejuvenating aura back. And by golly, will they come back. In fact, there's this really funny thing that you can do, where if there's a Graves on the enemy team, you can just stand in front of her grave and eat her zombies. Every time a zombie blows you up, you essentially get a free proc back, which will reduce your cooldowns. See, here's the thing about this build. When you add witchmail into the equation, you're not just surviving. No, you are living. You don't evade battle, you go into battle, because the more battle that you endure, the more that your cooldowns go down, the more that you can heal, the more that you can quantum entanglement, blah yada yada, blah blah blah, and then in the end, in the very end, you find yourself with 100,000 healing in one match. Let me tell you, by the way, numbers like this are insane, but you can only really achieve this on your big boy here, his shelf, Dynamo, Jonathan Dynamo. The wife man himself loves his wife. Unfortunately, robot. Look, they even gave him a wedding ring on his model. Now, if that isn't dedication to the wife shit, I don't know what is. To maximize your protective value in this build, though, you need to master a couple techniques. See, Oftentimes, just building this way is enough to make you an absolute juggernaut. I'm not joking. You can literally just sit there and take damage infinitely, essentially. Now let me tell you, if your objective in Deadlock is to completely brain break the enemy team, this is the way that you do it. Ʞᴏʀʀʟ popping an ultimate on a Dynamo taking her sinner sacrifice, and then the Dynamo just standing there and looking at her, knowing that his pure hefty mass is too much for her peddly little pea shooters. Oh boy, that kills morale, let me tell you. I've straight up won games just by going into the enemy base and just letting the entire enemy team shoot my face while I run around. Meanwhile, my team is over in mid-boss getting the fucking mid-boss buff while I'm just in the base dicking around, running around in a circuit. Oh, circuits, these are really funny. What I call running a circuit is essentially running like a little racetrack. There's lots of these little areas in the map where you can essentially run around in circles, and the enemy has a lot of trouble keeping up with it. I call them circuits because it's sort of like racing them Mario Kart style around the map, and it's really funny. Then the end result is that you have the entire enemy team chasing you in their base while you run through their spawn. Now tell me how that is not effective psychological warfare. Take no prisoners. Remember, all 11 people in this lobby, as soon as you go in for this build, are now your hostages. This is literally as absurd and stupid as, like, Dota 2 techies bullshit. So, oh yeah, this is another really funny thing that you can do, by the way. And hypothetically, this doesn't only work on Dynamo, but it's especially good on Dynamo, and especially with this build, it will make you terrifying. See, on the poles, you can go up and down really fast. Valve did this probably so that, you can traverse them really quickly, but I don't know how much thought they put into the fact that you can just go up and down. Like a stripper. So, what you can do is when you're on the enemy side of the base, and you find yourself being chased by 5 or more enemies, instead of trying to run away, find a pole. Any pole. There's a lot of poles. And what you're gonna do is you're just gonna go up and down. Make sure that your movements are erratic so that they can't predict where you are. And what you'll notice is that the enemies will have a really, really hard time locking onto you to shoot you. See, because unless they have a literal aimbot, keeping your aim locked onto a target that's jerking off up and down on a giant pole is kind of difficult. And getting hit with bullets doesn't slow you down on the poles right now. I understand if you want to fix that, but please don't. It's really funny. And I'm like the only one who does this. I call this strat pole dancing, and it can literally make you unkillable for a matter of minutes. On more than one occasion while doing a pole dance, I literally managed to get entire enemy teams to just kind of get bored and leave me alone eventually because I was just way too hard to kill because I was jerking off the pole 24/7. Like, this is no joke, one of the best survival techniques I've ever found in the game. And I'm pretty sure it's unintentional, because the ultimate final blow to the ego of an enemy team who thinks that they're about to win their game is seeing a 6,000 HP Dynamo going up and down a pole at Mach 5 and occasionally activating the heal and metal skin and healing beam, which, by the way, you can actually use these items on the pole itself, further increasing your survival time. Like, they need to invest ultimate abilities, usually, to actually get you off the pole. And it's possible, but with a couple fake-outs and a little bit of creative jerking, you too can distract and annoy the enemy team for minutes of their lives. Now, I hate to break it to you. I've won a lot of games with this build, and I'm not joking. My win rate right now with this build might be as high as 65%. I win more often doing this shit than I do playing regular Dynamo builds. And I'm a Dynamo main. This is ironically, 1, a really fucking funny playstyle, but 2, it's actually viable in ranks that aren't ascendant. Yeah, once you kind of get up there in rank, people can start to, counter you. They can buy items like Curse and Decay. But even still, you can counter a lot of that shit by just getting Divine Barrier and then just purging it off every once in a while. Still, even so, this build does have an upper limit. So to an extent, you're not gonna, carry the game doing this, But if your team is doing reasonably well and is like reasonably intelligent, you can essentially terrorize the enemy team and prolong things for as long as your team needs to make space. You literally become the ultimate space creator. You become a literal undefeatable monolith of a ball boy. And let me tell you, the victories are pretty sweet. But the only thing better than a victory at the end of running this dumb fucking build is when the enemy team has to sit there and look at the scoreboard and see this big green middle finger staring at them from your build description. Or worse, the number one best way to inflict post-game emotional damage on the enemy team to ensure that there is a high likelihood that they will uninstall and never come back ever again is when they look in your build description and they see that you in fact never sold your egg. And that, my dear friends, is how you win at Deadlock. Sure, you're not going to win all of your games doing this. Like, actually, this build is like I said, this build is pretty counterable. And honestly, there's quite a few heroes like Billy and Vindicta who just naturally counter it. But let me tell you, even in the times when you lose, you still win. Because ultimately, your mere existence as a big green boy challenges their perceptive realities of what it means to be a Deadlock, for what it means to be in New York, to understand that Wisconsin is futile, and that big belly boys are the future. Force the enemy team to rub that big belly. And then you too will truly understand the meaning of Deadlock. To do shit like this. And now with these tools, it's time for you to get in-game and just start queuing the fuck up. Go terrorize those lobbies, teach those seekers a lesson or two about what it means to buy green items. Good luck out there, Dynamo soldiers. I believe in you. I think you're gonna fucking kill it, and that my new Dynamo meta is gonna take over the world, and probably some of this shit's gonna get patched out at some point. But while it isn't patched out, do it. Go be a big green boy and win your games and shit. Or not. Or just go play meta. Yeah, just go play the meta. That's right, because you're just a little meta baby. Oh, you gotta suckle the meta baba, because you can't drink your Milky unless the meta tells you that Milky is meta. Oh, you little baby. Oh, I'm supposed to buy purple. No, fuck you. Buy the egg, get all the green shit, and get in that game, gamer. Because this isn't Deadlock anymore. This is psychological CIA torture, disguised as a video game. And wearing the skin of Big Welt from Robots the Animated Adventure. Actually, I suppose it would work on Abrams too, wouldn't it? Maybe I should do that next.